Hey! What's up, guys? Happy 4th of July! It's your boy, Dr. Alchemist, M.F.A. What? The Neo-Scholar. I have a Master of Fine Arts in Fashion Design. And why are you watching this? Because I got the credentials and I got the muscles. Let's go. Alrighty, so I was getting it in. You saw that. I was like, yeah, yeah, yeah. You know what I mean? So, what are we doing? Oh, I'm out of breath. What are we doing today? Happy 4th of July. Thank you so much for stopping in and watching. And let's just get to it, right? You ready to just get to it? Yeah, I'm ready. Are you? Let's go. So, like, comment, subscribe. We're not going to do too many intros. This is just a classic one of our Pokemon Neo-Scholar Analysis where we're laying the groundwork of this channel, okay? There we have foundational things that are going on for either Pokemon or One Piece. So I've talked about Regulation MA, all the Mega Evolutions. We have Regulation MB, all the Mega Evolutions, and also Regulation MB, all the base forms you can play with. I do have cooking. I do have cooking. A video with talking about, I think it's all 189 base form evolutions you get from Regulation MA, Pokemon Champions. So I will be talking about every single one. I think I'm going to have to divide them up by region. So we'll do a Kanto, a Johto, Unova, Sinnoh, so on and so forth. And I was just doing it as like a mini series. I might start that next week because I've been really, how do I say this? I've been really making sure this channel has depth. Like, I don't want to continue just putting things on y'all and information. I want to make sure you have reference videos to go to because, I've been told sometimes we can get a little lost, and I just want to make sure that we have these foundations so we can move together. So with that being said, we'll be talking about today Pokemon types and type charts. I need a refresher with this because, yeah, I need refreshers with this also because when I be battling, oh, sir, Bob, I'll be fighting for my life. Okay. Alrighty. So let's see. Hold on. All right. So we're about to record. And boom. All right, let's get into it. So I think it's so important to talk about Pokemon types and the type charts because with Pokemon Champions, we have a lot of new players, and this is a great refresher of someone that's returning back to the game after 10 years. And real quick, shout out to shout out to Dr. Dictionary. It's okay if we stumble. We're gonna probably keep that in. But Dr. Dictionary and the council credentials, give it up for them. They're doing a great job with us. This is our channel mascot, Dr. Dictionary, and all his friends, the council credentials. And we're just so happy you're here. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe. Let's get to the video. As I was saying about why we're doing this video, as a new player, there's a lot of different types out there, especially these dual types. For example, like a Garchomp, right? If it was just ground, we know water's going to work. But when it has the ground and dragon, things get a little type shaky. And it is 4 times weak to ice because ice is strong against ground, ice is strong against dragon. So if we know the individual types, even though the game tells us was super effective and just normal effective, we also could have in the back of our mind the information so we can hit them with those moves if we don't have the super effective. Maybe we hit something that one of its types might be super effective too, but also that his secondary type is not effective or resists. You get what I'm saying? Just follow him. So we are on the website Pokemon Database. I'll have this link down below so you can just access this easily. We love citing our sources. And we will start with Pokemon types and type charts. Okay. About Pokemon types, let's get some information on it. All Pokemon creatures and their moves are assigned certain types. Each type has several strengths and weaknesses in both attack and defense. In battle, you should use Pokemon and moves that have a type advantage over your opponent. Doing so will cause much more damage than normal. A single type advantage. For instance, a water attack against a ground type Pokemon will net you double normal damage. The advantages also stack up. So a double type advantage, for instance, a water attack against a ground rock type Pokemon will net you quadruple damage. Wow, quadruple damage. In both these cases, you will see the message it's super effective end game after the attack. Conversely, a single and double type disadvantage will afflict half and a quarter normal damage. Respectively, here you will see the message. It's not very effective in game. Another advantage you can gain in same type attack bonus, stab. As the name implies, this increases the power of the move of the attacking Pokemon has the same type as the Pokemon. Oh, as the move used. For example, fire type Pokemon using a fire type move. In this case, the damage is 1.5 times normal. Again, this is added to any other advantages. So a water type Pokemon using a water type move against a ground rock type Pokemon will bag you 6 times. 2 times 2 times 1.5 normal damage. Let's say this again. Again, this is added to any other advantages. So a water type Pokemon using a water type move against a ground, okay, 2 times, rock time, 2 times. Pokemon will bag you 6 times, 2 times 2 times 1.5, which is the stab bonus, okay, normal damage. Got it? Good. Type chart. The full type chart here displays the strengths, weaknesses of each type. Look down to the left hand side for the attacking type, then move across to see how effective it's against each Pokemon type. So we'll start at the beginning, we have normal, and we'll go, right? So let's look at what the type chart says. Well, we have a little key right here, okay? All right, chart key. If there's a 0, there's no effect. So ghost and normal, ghost attacking into normal, it's 0, okay? And normal attacking to ghost is 0. Not very effective. Fire going to fire, half, right? Super effective. Oh, we have normal. Does 100% the straight up damage. That's these white cubes. And then 2 times is super effective is, let's say, water on fire, right? And now once we get into dual typing, that would be totally different. But I think this basic chart will be great to just know the individual types. They do have one with dual typing. I don't think I'll go through all that. That will be a lot, okay? But I think this will be helpful, and this is all you need to know the foundation. Let's go to a little more information, right? Type chart changes. How interesting. Let's get into it. Okay. The majority of the type chart has remained the same over the years, but I might be blocking it, so just listen. But there has been a few changes. In Generation 2, Dark and Steel types were added, while in Generation 6, Pokemon X and Y, the fairy types was added. Below are differences compared to the current type chart. The chart can be seen on the old type chart pages. Generation 2 and 5, there was no 2 through 5, there was no fairy types, y'all. Ghost and Dark types moves were not very effective against Steel type Pokemon. From Generation 6, they do neutral damage. Kind of made sense to me. I guess they want to do a little nerfing. Okay. Generation 1. There was no Dark and Steel types. Ghost type moves had no effect on Psychic Pokemon. Note that this only affected Lick, as Confused Ray and Nightshade affected all Pokemon equally. This was supposedly a mistake in the programming. Several game guides stated that Ghost was super effective on Psychic, and then game trainer at Saffron City says that Psychic Pokemon fear only ghosts and bugs. It was correct in Generation 2 when Ghost Pokemon became super effective against Psychic. Bug was super effective on poison and vice versa. This was changed so that Bug is not very effective against poison, and poison now does regular damage against Bug. Okay. I think Bug could have kept that, right? I think it could have kept it, right? Because the bugs we need help living. Okay. Ice type moves were neutral against fire type again. Ice type moves were neutral against fire type Pokemon. Now they are not very effective. Okay, makes sense. All right, Tay. Let's see. Can we keep up, baby boy, and lose my breath? Is there a way to hmm, talk about this and be the center of my screen? All right. Oh, why did I reach for my water? I didn't see it. Okay, it's over there. I'll be able to get through it. I'll be able to get through it. All right, let's start at the beginning. Okay. So, normal type Pokemon, as far as it's called normal damage. Or I think I've heard neutral, right? Is that neutral or normal? We'll just say normal damage for this. So normal to normal, no, all these will be normal damage, and then I'll kind of stop and talk about it more once we get into like half. When we get into not very effective, no effect, and super effective. Let's go. So normal. Uh, it is normal. I'll just say neutral. I'm used to saying neutral. It's neutral to normal fire, water, electric, grass, ice, fighting, poison, ground, flying, psychic, bug. Now, when we get into rock, it does half damage, not very effective, and it is no effect. So, not very effective and no effect. Let me write something down because I'm not going to keep looking. 'Cause I say different terms, but we want to, make sure we are correct. So let's write this key down, right? Do you also use sticky notes? Sound down below if you do, because I do use them all the time. So that's right. So real quick, let's write this down. So the 0 is no effect. Okay. And then 1/2 is not very effective. And then blank, okay, is normal or neutral, right? And then the 2 is super effective. 200%. That's a lot of damage for Super Smash Brothers. All right, so I got my little key here. All right, so as we're looking at the okay, we're good. Perfect. All right, so we go normal to rock is going to be not very effective. To ghost is going to be no effect. Dragon and dark, normal. Okay, normal damage. Steel is half, which is not very effective. All right. Okay, cool. So let's go into fire. The next one. Fire. It is weak. No, it is not very effective into itself. Fire, not very effective into water. Then to electric, no effect. To grass and ice, fire. Of course, that makes kind of sense. It is super effective. Fighting, poison, ground, flying, psychic is normal. Then we have bug, which is going to be super effective. Of course, fire is a bug that makes total sense. Then once we get into rock and dragon, it's doing not very effective. Okay. And then fire into steel is 2 times to melt steel. That makes total sense. Let me see if I can pull it up because I want to make sure everybody can see once we get lower. Let's see. Pokemon type chart. Yes, but I want to have a picture. Let's see. Let's see how big it is if I pull it onto my desktop. And then how would we do this? Okay. Okay. Well, that's no better. But we tried. Okay, let's go back to where we was doing. Do, 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 do. As you can see, videos need to be made reels. Hey, you gotta stay organized out there, y'all. You gotta stay organized. Let's get into water. All right, water into fire 2 times. That makes total sense. Water into water is not very effective. Water into grass, not very effective. Then we have normal, electric, ice, fighting, and poison. It is normal damage. Ground and rock is super effective. Flying psychic bug is normal. Ghost is normal. Dark is normal. And steel is normal. Okay. Electric. Well, that makes sense, right? Water. Oh yeah, water into dragon. Dragon is such a strong typing. Wow. Let's go into electric. Electric. So we have normal to normal, normal to normal. Electric is normal into normal. Fire, ice, fighting, poison, psychic, bug, rock, ghost, dark, and steel. Okay. And then we go 2 times into to water, electric into water, which makes sense. Now we go electric into electric, then it's not very effective. Into grass is not very effective. To ground, 0. We all know that. But for some reason, Pikachu was able to beat Onyx, with a sprinkler system. Hey, it was doing the Yu-Gi-Oh! First do its kingdom rules, right? All right, so electric into flying 2 times, and then electric into dragon. Okay, not very effective. Now let's go into grass. We have grass is normal to normal. A lot of things are normal to normal, except for what fighting and ghosts. Yeah, grass is normal into normal, electric, ice, fighting, psychic, ghost, and dark. And now we're about to start seeing some little mix ups here. All right. Grass is not very effective into fire. Grass itself, poison. Flying, bug, and dragon. Grass is super effective too. Water, ground, and rock. Okay. My favorite Pokemon type is the water, of course. I love water Pokemon. Misty is my favorite gym leader. And then secondly, I love Brock. I'm not saying Brock Pokemon is my favorite, but Brock is just cool. But I love water Pokemon. Maybe one day I can play a water Pokemon on live stream. I don't know how well I do, but I can always try. Okay. So we done fire, water, electric. We just did grass. Let's go into ice. So ice is normal into normal, electric, fighting poison, psychic bug, rock, ghost, and dark. That kind of makes sense. That's ice. Now, ice is not very effective. To fire, water, that makes sense because ice melts water. Ice melts fire. Oh Jesus. Okay. Fire melts ice. So that makes sense. Then ice freezes water. Now, I guess that's where they have freeze dry, the move where it doubles against water Pokemon, right? Okay, I can see kind of your logic. I see it. But ice and water is kind of the same property, but I think it should be neutral. But that's just me. Now, ice into grass, double. Ice into ice, half. Ice into ground and flying. The ground, I don't know. I really understand. Do you think because of like the dinosaurs? I don't know why I associate dinosaurs and ground Pokemon, but okay, the ground, but ice goes over the ground. I guess it does make sense because Antarctica is all ice. Underneath the ice is ground, right? Sounds down below. So ice won in Antarctica, right? In Alaska too. Ice and flying, that makes sense. And then dragon because of the ice age. Okay. I like that's kind of like a cheeky pun. Cheeky pun. And then we have what's next? Steel. Ice and steel. Okay. That is half. Now let's go into fighting. Fighting, futon. Da, 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 da. I'm gonna go out a little bit more. There we go. Right? Okay. So we have fighting. Fighting into normal is 2 times. Sorry, normal. This time, no normal into normal. No, nope. Fighting dog walks normal. So if you're a normal Pokemon, you really don't have that many resistance. But fighting is up now in Pokemon Champions pretty common. But hey, it's a good. It's good type. Especially water too. Water has a lot of resistance, or a lot of Pokemon use water moves, and water Pokemon are very strong and versatile. Anyway, fighting going to ice is 2 times. Yep, punching the ice, that makes sense. Fighting into poisons. I guess since I'm thinking like Muck and Grimer, they're like kind of sludgy type based Pokemon, so they only do half. Um, real quick. Oh, I'm kind of going outside. So we said fighting does normal into fire, water, electric, grass, fighting itself, ground, and dragon. Okay. Then not very effective against fighting, not very effective into poison. Flying, that makes sense. Psychic, that makes sense. Bug, I guess can't stop on the bug, but bug has has enough trouble anyway. Okay. And then it's 2 times against normal ice and rock. Now, fighting cannot hit ghost Pokemon unless you have like think the ability as a foresight or also King is kind of scrappy. But it's the oh, hey, I've been doing a lot of homework for my game design class. So anyway, fighting, it's like when you use the foresight and it's the little magnifying glass, and then you can actually hit them. So yeah, poison is the next type. Poison Pokemon I love Muck. Poison is normal to normal Pokemon. Fire Pokemon, water, electric, ice, fighting, flying, psychic, bug. Okay. And dragon and dark, right? Then we have poison going into that's not very effective. Poison to poison, poison to ground, rock and goes. Okay. But into steel Pokemon, all right, it is no effect. You can just imagine this, poisoning something and then steel just rolls off. And then poison going into grass, it is super effective. Okay. Now we have next ground. Ground is normal into normal water, ice fighting. I think ice should be, well, I guess rock is strong against ice, but okay. I don't know the debate on ground and rock. Well, rocks live on top of I'm not even going there. Nope, nope, no, nope. I am not. I was about to say archaeologist. I'm not a groundologist. Whatever that word is. So ground is no effect to normal water, ice fighting, ground, psychic, ghost dragon, dark, and ground is strong against steel. Wow, super effective to steel, and to rock, to poison, to electric, and to fire. Okay, then not very ground is not very effective into grass, and ground into ground is normal, neutral. Ground to flying, of course, flying Pokemon up are not no effect. And then ground into bug. So, oh, okay. So bug, so ground resists bug. That's what that means. All right. So flying is normal into normal, fire, water, ice, poison, ground, flying, psychic, ghost, dragon, dark. All right. Shout out to my boy Pidgeot. I don't know. Every time I think about flying Pokemon, I think about Pidgeot. All right, so we have flying. And then flying into electric is not very effective. Also not very effective to rock and steel. Makes sense. Flying, we already said that. Strong into bug and grass. We already know that because Pidgeotto and Caterpillar, they taught us this. And then the rest of them, they're normal too. Psychic. Psychic is no effect to normal fire, water, electric, grass, ice. Hold on. Normal fire, water, electric, grass, ice. Normal. Okay. Ground, flying, normal. Bug, rock, ghost, dragon, normal. Dark, no effect. Not very effective. Steel and psychic, not very effective. Okay. And then as far as normal damage, I think I already said this, but I'm gonna just say it one more time. Normal fire, water, electric, grass. We already dealt with that. Okay, cool. All right, next. Bug. All right, let's see. Now, maybe what I'll do is move myself to the top, or maybe I'll keep myself there, but we'll see. Let's do bug. Oh, easy. I see it down there. Cool. All right. Woo. All right. Oh, it's missing some types. Where's fairy? Okay. Honorable mention fairy. All righty. So we left off as rock. Okay. Let's do it. So rock is normal into normal. Rock is normal also into water, electric, grass, right? So grass resists, well, no, like ground grass resists ground. Over here, it's normal to grass, okay? Rock and grass. Then poison, psychic, bug, rock, dragon, and dark. Okay, that's rock. Then hold on one second. Okay. I was just trying to see how we can do this better. All right. I was talking about rock. Now, as far as two-time effective, rock is super effective into fire. That makes total sense. Rock is super effective into ice. Okay. Maybe that's the asteroid or the meteor that hit the dinosaurs. I don't know. That stopped the ice age. I don't know that story. I'm just hypothesizing in my head. Rock into flying. That makes total sense. That's why Charizard be getting blasted. And rock into bug. Okay. And we said steel for half, ground is half, and fighting is half. All right. Ghost. Ghost into normal is 0. No effect at all. Then Ghost doesn't do super effective to too many things, right? So Ghost into fire, water, electric, grass, ice, fighting, poison, ground, flying, bug, rock, and dragon, okay, are normal. And then when we get into no effect, Ghost has no effect onto normal, okay? And going into super effective against psychic, that's good to know. And super effective into ghost. So ghost is super effective into itself. Interesting. Half off, half off, 50% off, half off the sale is for dark and steel. Okay, got it? Yeah, got it. Good. Thanks so much for sticking around. Just like, comment, subscribe, please. If you find this interesting, comment down below. If not, still comment down below. I think this is a good conversation to have, and just we're almost done. All right. And don't forget to let me know about fairy types. We'll have to go figure that out. I think I already know the typing and the weaknesses, but I want to find it on the chart. Dragon. So dragon is basically normal into everything except for dragon to dragon is double. Into steel, it's not very effective into steel. Okay. Dark. Dark is let's see, normal into normal, fire, water, electric, grass, ice, poison, dark, ground, fly, bug, and rock, and dragon. Normal. Okay. Half. Dark is not very effective into fighting, dark itself, and steel. Half. Super effective. Psychic and ghost. Super effective. Okay. Um, Steel, last but not least. Steel is normal into normal. I'm really concentrating on this. This is so much fun. Okay, steel into normal. Still into grass, fighting, poison, ground, flying, psychic, bug is normal. Still into those types doing normal neutral damage. Okay. Then we go ghost, dragon, and dark neutral. Half, not very effective. Still into fire, water, electric, not very effective. The core types. Still into steel, not very effective. And then is the doing double, super effective to ice and also to rock. Alrighty, cool. Let's see if we can get into fairy. Oops, fairy type Pokemon. Strengths and weaknesses. Oh yeah, I wish we used this the whole entire time. This would have been great. What the hell? Hold on. Mm, mm, mm. All right. So this is super confusing right now. 'Cause I don't know how since we're fighting. Oh, this is dual typing. Okay, cool. That makes total sense. I was like, wait, so it must be talking about fairy normal, fairy fire. Anyway. All right, fairy. Last one. Fairy. All right, cool. Bear with me. Fairy into fairy. Okay. It's a fairy. So fairy is normal, neutral into normal, water, electric, grass, ice, ground, flying, psychic, bug, rock, ghost, and fairy itself. Okay. And I say normal. It is doing half damage, not very effective against fire. I think they should have gave it to water and electric also, right? Hold on. Okay, cool. We'll just go off of this. I don't know if I was saying it right, so I want to make sure I go off of this. All right. So offensive fairy types are doing super effective 2 times to fighting, dragon, and dark. Cool. We know that right there. Now going into these types is not very effective. Half off. Poison, still, and fire. Okay. Then no effect, none, zero. Okay. That's for offensive. If it's going this, there's like no one that completely resists it, right? Now defensive is 2 times fairy types are 2 times weak against poison and steel. Okay. I know that very well. It resists fighting bug and dark. Okay, half off. And then to dragon, it's immune. So this is if they're taking the damage, if there's a dealing damage. Well, guys, I hope this was very interesting and informative. Happy 4th of July. And, thank you so much for watching. Just like, comment, subscribe. Put down below what's your favorite Pokemon type. If you were a gym leader, what type of gym would you do? I would choose a water for my first type. And I think my second type would be psychic. If I had to have a secondary typing, okay? That's what I would have. All right. Always remember, we can adapt, we can rebuild, we can win. We can achieve our hopes and dreams. Don't forget, always keep analoging. And y'all have a great 4th of July.